Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the Smith Wesson M&P 45, the big bore of the M&P line, full size. This one here is the 4.5-inch barrel, but there's also 4-inch available. What I'm going to do now is step over here, see if we can put a little steel on steel. After that, we'll step inside, take a look at some of the features of the gun, what I think of it overall, and that'll pretty much do it. But for now, let's see if we can make that steel ring, guys. You do your part, the gun will do its part, no doubt about that. Taking a closer look at it here, the first thing we're going to do is make sure it's unloaded. We'll drop the magazine. It is a 10-round magazine that comes standard with the pistol. Lock the slide to the rear via the slide lock lever here. That is an ambidextrous slide lock lever. Inspect the chamber, make sure it's empty. It certainly is. We'll let the slide go home. And I guess we'll start off here with the slide. The slide, as you can see, is coated, or finished, I should say, in a nice melanite finish. Nice matte black all the way around. That melanite finish, for those of you guys that don't know, it's a nitrocarburizing process that hardens the surface of the steel. I believe melanite generally comes in right around 68 to 70 Rockwell hardness, so very hard stuff, very corrosion resistant, and very durable. When you guys see when we take the pistol apart, this gun here has about 400 rounds through it, and it shows very little wear at all due to the properties of that melanite. It does a good job at resisting the wear, also a good job at resisting holster rubs. So another thing that folks out there may like. The slide on this pistol, this is the 4.5-inch model. There's also a 4-inch model, so just pointing that out. But up front here we have nice fish scale serrations for guys that like to do press checks. Also on the back we have nice fish scale serrations again for grabbing on there, maybe emergency manipulation of the pistol if you have a malfunction or whatever the case may be. It gives you good gripping surface there. The sights here are Novak style 3-dots. These are the factory night sights, but it does come with a just plain 3-dot sight model as well if you choose to do so. One thing I want to point out there is if you're looking at those sights, it does have a nice ledge on the rear sight for one-handed manipulation if you guys need to do that. So definitely something I like there. Moving on to the frame up front here, you'll notice that it does have a 1913 style rail suitable for any sort of lasers, lights, etc. that you might want to put on there. You've seen them throughout the review already. The frame itself is a Zytel infused polymer, very durable stuff, and holds up well over long-term use, so a good thing there. It's also relatively lightweight, even though the pistol itself comes in at just over 29 ounces, so it's kind of heavy, but that's mostly due to the mass of the slide, not so much in the frame. It does have light stippling up here on the front as well as on the back strap. Now, one thing that people who shoot M&Ps a lot, like competition shooters or guys who go to classes and put a lot of rounds through them, will report sometimes they have some rubbing here right underneath the trigger guard. So if that's you, you can easily relieve it there with a Dremel, but for most folks it's not going to cause an issue. Like I said, the slide lock is ambidextrous. The mag release itself is reversible, so for you lefties out there, you can go ahead and swap it over and you're back in business. The only thing that's not going to be ambidextrous is the takedown lever here. But also on the back of the frame here, we do have a interchangeable back straps for those folks who want to change it out with small hands or relatively large hands. I have it set up here with the medium, but I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Also on the back of the frame, we do have a beaver tail, very aggressive, long beaver tail. So you can actually get very high up on the pistol and you don't have to worry about slide bite now. Some folks have that, particularly guys with real meaty hands. It's not really a problem for me with most pistols, but if it is for you, that's certainly a good thing. To take the pistol down and to remove these back straps, there's a little tool in here, and what you do is you just turn it, and for brevity's sake I'm going to use a tool, but you actually can pull it out with your hands. You just want to pull it up, it comes right out, and you lock the pistol to the rear. And inside, if you take a look in here, hard to see on camera, but there's a little yellow piece in there. Hopefully that's showing up, but that's your sear disconnect. You're going to reach in there and pull that forward. You can probably see it a little better now. See that piece sticking forward? That's the piece you want to pull forward. It is yellow, like I said. And now we're going to just rotate this down 90 degrees. At this point, we're going to let it go home. and the slide comes right off. Now if you didn't want to actually engage that yellow piece here disconnect there, you can just pull the trigger and it works the same. Taking it apart, you'll see that the guide rod here is stainless steel, a feature that a lot of polymer pistols out there don't have, one that a lot of folks like. And the barrel comes out just as easily, standard Browning locking block design. Now you can see there's very little wear on there due to that melanite finish like I mentioned earlier. Reassembling the pistol is just a reverse order. And one thing that's nice about having such an easy pistol to take down and put back together is generally those pistols tend to be very easy to clean and maintain. The M&P is no exception to that. For those of you guys that haven't ever done that, you can check out my cleaning and lubrication for this pistol. That video that's linked right here should help you out. You just lock it to the rear after assembling the slide, rotate the lever, you're back in business. Now let's talk about the trigger on this pistol. It pulls, there's a little bit of uptake. I believe it's right about 0.3 inches of uptake, and then it hits a wall, has a pretty clean break. It's nice and clean, breaks right at 6 pounds, so a little bit heavier than some, a little bit lighter than others. But one thing I want to point out is on the 45, the reset is not as great as it was, or as it is, I should say, on some of the newer 9mm models. Now this pistol was made in 2013. November. This pistol here, this 9mm model, exact same thing, November 2013. We'll check out the reset on this. You can see it's much more tactile than it is here on the 45. And the 45 is still better than some of the earlier models that had almost none, but still not quite as good as the 9. Hopefully that change will keep coming as the pistols continue to evolve. Magazine, the standard magazine I should say that comes with the gun is 10 rounds, but one of the good things about M&P pistols is that they do make extended factory mags for them here. So you see the 14 round factory magazine operates just as well as the 10 rounder, so that way if you want to extend the capacity out and you're not carrying the gun, you can do so really with no penalty besides the weight of the extra 4 rounds. Subscribers of the channel know that I'm often accused of being a Glock fanboy. I tend to like Glocks because they're simple, they're rugged, they're durable, they're reliable, and they're affordable. M&Ps, they're the same way. I recommend Glocks to a lot of folks. I also recommend M&Ps probably just as much. If you're looking for a 45 duty pistol or a home defense pistol, this is one you should take a look at. It's been 100% reliable so far, from everything from like Wolf steel cased ammo all the way up to, defensive ammo, HSTs, gold dots. It just eats them all up without question. It's accurate. It's more accurate than I am. The 45s have never had a problem with accuracy. Some of the early 9mm M&Ps were a little bit problematic in that area, but the 45s have always been accurate guns. This one is no exception. So it's made in the USA in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is my hometown, as some of you guys know. And it also has the great Smith Wesson customer service warranty. So no worries there. If you do have a problem, they're an excellent company in terms of customer service, and they will take care of you. So it also has excellent ergonomics. It points well. It has the same grip angle as a 1911 for those of you guys that are used to that. And like I said, the interchangeable back straps if you have different hand sizes. So it's pretty modular there as well. If you guys have any questions about this gun or anything else I talk about here on the channel, you can always post below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next video.